As we get into the actual citizen comments, that we want to avoid what happened 6 months ago, which was talking and yelling and insinuating and so forth, and then even jostling and pushing. We're just not going to have that. So if that starts up again, we'll have to clear. Though you might as well. We're going to clear the room.
Speak here and free to do so. I just think it's fair that you be warned. You know, obviously this is a public forum. Stuff is being tape recorded. Things that you say here may be used against you. With that knowledge, you're more than welcome to talk.
It's 3 minutes per person, Kevin. If you can't follow the rules, let it go.
You need to learn the law. That's fair. I should be able to do that. That's all. You should learn the law. You got an attorney up there.
It's a lawsuit, though it's not an ordinance. Who's next?
There's a lot of ordinance in town. I think we all agree that being broken for a long time.
Justin Alderman, State Representative from 61st District, former City Alderman. I sat in that chair for 3 years, and never once did we ever bring a lawsuit against any business or citizen for breaking an ordinance.
If he's never had a complaint or a fine or anything, it really makes me worried that we start doing this. And how much is this going to cost the city of Hermann to proceed with this?
Seen a change on our block to where Mim Schmidt, Donna and Dale had bed and breakfasts, true bed and breakfasts. Now they've become guest house. And within the last year, it's party houses. It's people come here to drink, you know, and I understand that. But it does affect our residential, what I thought, you know, our peace and quiet that you do have in Hermann. Last night was peace and quiet. Tonight it's not going to be that way.
I want to call the owner. That's why the police are here. If your peace is being disturbed in any way, then that's when you pick up the phone and call us. If we have to come there,
I understand that. You just don't want to.
That's what we get paid to do.
I understand that, but you know, I hate to be that person unless it does get out of control. But then it's probably.
Well, I understand, but you also don't. You don't have to.
I understand that.
Your peace doesn't have to be disturbed. If it is, that's when you need to call us, and we'll come take care of it.
Brant Wilkins.
So, in my 3 years on the board, I never once had a closed session where we even discussed bringing an injunction or lawsuit or suing, whatever you want to call it, where we went to court against either a business or an individual, and we certainly never did it in closed session.
Now, budgets, I know our budget's been tight for a long time. We struggle with the budget. Is it in our best interest to use this money to sue a bed and breakfast in our town? And then I'm with everybody else. How much further is this going to go? Are we going to start suing people for not mowing their grass? Or are we just going to keep doing this? I'm concerned about the budget and what it's doing to our community. I mean, we're breaking our community apart. I do believe this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is on the lawsuit. I just think whenever you do this against one business, you know, it is going to affect us all. It really does. It's just going to trickle down. And when we're a tourism community, and you know, some people in the business world, or even elsewhere, you know, you have to be creative, and you have to have some type of creative marketing. The reason you have to have creative marketing is we compete with other towns, other businesses, other B&Bs, and other wineries, and other shops. We want them to come to Hermann, and there's a lot of competition. And so it brings out the best in some of us to try to make things work and try to make it as appealing. And I believe that some of the B&Bs are doing that. Some of the wineries, some of the businesses are doing that. They're being very, very appealing. When we see a lawsuit like this, it tends to make me think that, man, do I really want to be a part of that? Do I really want to stick my neck out there and make this work, make this happen? Create revenue for ourselves, the citizens, and the taxpayers, the money. It just gives me a bad feeling.
I really don't have a lot to say other than to say amen to everyone, particularly our state rep, Justin Alderman.
Talking with Brant, I never can pronounce your name, But in talking with him, I was saying, yeah, you know, the other night, you know, they were getting loud and whatnot. He said, give me a call, man. I'll come down here and, you know, and I'll stop it. The point is, we don't call. You know, we don't want to interrupt these people. We know they're getting a little bit drunk, a little bit out of hand, but it's not terrible or anything like that. But it does affect our lifestyle too, as just normal residents of a neat little town. So that's my 2 cents.
My biggest issue is this. When you guys go into closed session, while maybe it was legal, I don't think anyone sitting in here today thinks that that was an appropriate use of going into closed session to do that. And here's why. Look at how many people are in here right now. Do you think that they wouldn't have shown up had you wanted to discuss this issue in open session? It certainly lends itself to the appearance of impropriety. A former mayor and our now commissioner reminded me that you can be legally correct and morally corrupt, meaning that you can do something that is absolutely allowed under the law, but it doesn't make it right.
Pointed that the city attorney, Mr. Fleet, wasn't here because he, along with the mayor, the architects of these ordinances. And I'm sure what he has done, what Mr. Fleet has done, is legal. But I agree with several of the speakers, it may not be morally and ethically sound.
How much is it going to cost to sue this business owner? I mean, lawyers have billable hours.
I don't know. We will know soon when he puts the bill together. And since I don't think it's a tremendous amount of money, though, it's an injunction. It's not a lawsuit like we found that we were involved in with the MOPAP that cost us $120,000 with the potential for another $400,000.
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with Mr. Wilkerson. He doesn't have anything to do with the electrical department.
Right.
He's an individual that will have to pay his legal expenses out of his own pocket. And he doesn't have anywhere near the amount of money that the city does, or MOPAP had. So that doesn't really concern him.
Mike Sloan, Hermann, Worst House. A couple things, and talking with the comment that the chief made just a few minutes ago. You know, it's a good idea if you got a problem to call the police.
My question to you, Mr. Mayor and Board of Aldermen, is this. Has there ever been a municipal fine levied against this particular business?
Is that a comment?
That's it. That's a question.
Well, but this is for comments, so we're not, this is not.
No, this is not, this ain't a free-for-all, guys.
You're not the mayor.
And that wasn't, Mr. Mayor, that was not a trying to, I'm not trying to incite anger. I think I know the answer to that, and I believe it is no. And to me, it scares me that the city of Hermann now has started a precedent where instead of having a municipal fine, and instead of having ways that we already have under the ordinances, we're going to go 0 to 60, and we're going to start suing individuals in court. That to me frightens me, and it frightens me as a citizen, as a taxpayer, and it frightens me for good government. So that is what I will say. Thank you.
And also, I just want people to stop and think, if you start doing this, what a chilling effect it's going to put on your business community.
Includes the citizens' comments section.
There's no time for any other citizen comments at all?
Not if you didn't sign up. Justin, I don't really want to get into it, Justin, but I want to tell you about this, so don't.
Okay.
So it was kind of a staged event, in my opinion. Talked about taking $100,000 of taxpayer money and then matching grant $400,000 more and building all these sidewalks. So all these sidewalks cost us $100,000.
So Mayor, if somebody wanted to talk in today's meeting, they needed to put their name, address on a piece of paper, and if they did not fill out one, then they were not given a chance to speak. Tell us about that.
Well, that is to allow people to speak. We know what they're going to talk about. We give them a certain amount of time based on how many people are there. And this is the common way these meetings are done in almost every municipality, including school board meetings and other things.
So we've
Because-
never done it in Herman before.
No,
but
we have not done it before, but we've announced it 2 or 3 times in Board of Alderman meetings that in the event we have a large crowd, like we had today, that we would institute this rule, and that.
You ran on a platform of cooperation. Most of this lawsuit, we don't even operate the way you say. If you had come over and asked one time, could have cleared that up. You also would have known we predate zoning. It's a waste of time and money. We predate zoning. And then read this. It says a private dwelling containing not more than 10 guest rooms in which the travelers are lodged for sleeping purposes for compensation, with or without a morning meal provided. Meaning you can cook them breakfast or you cannot cook them breakfast. Doesn't matter. But with no food service for compensation except for overnight guests. I'll read that again. But with no food service for compensation except for overnight guests. So that means you can serve overnight guests any meal that you want, and you can charge them. If that doesn't mean that, that means anybody that serves your guests cookies, a piece of chocolate, anything other than a morning meal will now be against the law. If Chris Cady should invite the mayor over for dinner and he doesn't spend the night, that would be against the law. They say this is not an ordinance, but if you understand how the law works, it sets a precedent. It becomes law throughout town. They are legislating through the court because they know this is not what the town wants. In fact, the majority of people on 3rd Street, my block, are not only for me, they're for commercial zoning for the entire street. Waste of time, waste of money.
I'm Shable, former Mayor Hermann, and I'm extremely disappointed at the comments made by elected officials in the recently held Board of Alderman meeting in regards to the lawsuit against a private individual and a private business. We have turned into a bunch of small Ayatollahs, and they're attacking the lifeblood. The elected officials are attacking the lifeblood of our city, and it needs to stop. That's not what Herman's about. Herman's about getting along with your neighbors. So I think the turnout of people opposed to this is significant, and it will continue to grow.
My name is Frank Van Camp. I have the Harbor House Inn and Suites in Hermann, Missouri. I spoke up at the end of the meeting when they said the citizen comments were over, and I asked if I could speak, and I was told I may not speak because I hadn't filled out a form that we've never heard of before.
Kevin, trolleyman out of Herman, tell us what happened at the BOA meeting.
Well, I think it was a pretty calm meeting. I think it's evident that everybody in town is a little shocked that they're bringing a lawsuit or some kind of injunction against Mr. Wilkins. His family's been there for 25 years or longer, and he's been operating like this. He's a great operator. I pick a lot of his folks up. Hey guys, this is Kevin the Trolley Man. I know there's a lot happening in Hermann in city politics. Don't let that discourage you from coming and visiting us. We are still that great, fun-loving town. We've got the greatest wine in the area, maybe in the country. We got all these trolleys that'll get you there.